Hello, and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Wark, and today on In the Spotlight, we're focusing on a pair of creative entrepreneurs and their upscale approach to reused retail goods. District Focus will give us a business snapshot into the popular 6th Avenue Business District. Then, on Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry rolls up his sleeves and helps build your home office. And today, my guest is Marianne Carter with Second Use. Welcome, Marianne.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Second Use is about recycling buildings and building material and fixtures and all kinds of things like that. Tell us about your business.
Yes, so Second Use goes into commercial spaces as well as primarily residential spaces, and we pull out the primarily non-structural materials that still have some life in them and can be reused. So doors, windows, cabinets, lighting, plumbing fixtures, appliances, hardware, and all sorts of other little fun stuff.
Yeah, I looked at your website and I saw some great categories like Art Deco, and I opened it up and there's all these really cool fixtures. And then tools, old and new. It's a really interesting range of things.
Yes, absolutely. We try to, pretty much anything you can find in a house, you can find in our store.
So who are your customers? Who likes to come to Second Use?
A wide range of people. Obviously, there's homeowners that might have a period style house that they want to bring it back to the original style. So if you have a 1920s home and are looking to replace a single glass doorknob, that's something we have. We also have customers that are looking to update and kind of infuse new life with new materials. Our range of materials, as you mentioned, it's not just vintage. We also have some more contemporary stuff because our whole mission's just about pulling things from spaces regardless of era, as long as they have some life in them.
You have industrial things?
Yeah, industrial.
A whole range.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting. I imagine with all the historic houses in Tacoma and the surrounding area that there's a lot of people that have discovered you.
Yes, absolutely. Especially we're close to Hilltop. It's been a great community for us, and lots of old houses, lots of growth. It's exciting.
So yeah, you're into old houses, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm partial to old houses, but you also find, like you said, we'll get to go into a really cool commercial space and pull out old or gently used big lab countertops or things like that. Stuff you've never seen before that can be reused in really cool applications.
Oh, that must be interesting work. So you're talking about the actual work of salvaging. And the way that works is that through word of mouth mostly, people call you and saying, I'm tearing down my building. Would you like to come and take stuff away?
Exactly. Yes. So we do have a drop-off at our store and we do pick up, but primarily we go out totally free of cost, and we work with homeowners or contractors to go into a space and pull out any building materials that can be reused.
And that's a service to them as well, because they don't have to throw away as much stuff.
Absolutely. And I think people often think about the green part of it, which is fantastic, but it's a huge cost savings too, because then you're not paying for that amount of demolition, you're not paying to store materials, you're not paying for the dump fees. So it's pretty beneficial all across the board.
And you have experts who go in and look around and are really good at sizing up the place.
Yes, we have a couple guys on staff, and that's their whole job, is to go in and evaluate what can be reused.
Well, that sounds kind of fun too. I think I'd like that job.
Yeah, you get to go into some pretty amazing spaces.
Yeah, and then they go away.
Right, then they're gone and something else is in its place, but the materials stay in the community, which is fantastic.
And it stays in the community. Yeah, that's a really good point. And I like the location. It's another new addition to the brewery district.
Yes. Right
there on 23rd?
Yes, 23rd and Fawcett.
Okay. And I looked at your website, as I mentioned, and I think it's really cool. And it's this big, spacious warehouse. But it looks like, when I think of secondhand stores, especially building materials, it looked like everything was neat and clean compared to what I'm expected to see.
Yeah, that's our mission is to be accessible, intuitive, and fun. And so as far as accessibility, we try to make shopping reuse be as easy as shopping something new.
Okay.
Obviously, there's a lot of variables. We never know what we're going to get, but we know how to organize it. So every day we update our website with 100 to 200 new items.
Wow.
Everything's measured to 1/8 of an inch. We take several photos, and then we let you know where it is in the store. Similarly, you don't have to use our website to shop. You can come in, and if you're more of a treasure hunter and just want to look around our warehouse, and we have a great database in-house to help you locate things, or you can wander around, and on the tags, it's all sized and measured, and we let you know as much history as we have on the piece.
Oh, no kidding. So you
Yes.
try and preserve the history.
Yeah, whether it's like it's very cool to be like, this locker looks familiar, and then
Yeah.
you're like, this actually came from the middle school I went to.
Oh, wow.
So fun trivia like that, as well as, what condition the home was that it came out of, or if there's, related items to it, so that if you really liked a bathroom vanity, you might like the toilet and the tub. We list
cross-selling.
jobs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's a service. That's really interesting. And you probably also know the era of certain kinds of fixtures and all kinds of things, tools.
Yeah, exactly.
That would make it an adventure to go to
It
the
is
store.
very much an adventure. I'm not a homeowner myself, but I find endless reasons to shop when I'm off work. Because, reuse really opens the door. You don't have to think of things in the literal way that they once were used for. So, you might be in a small apartment, but you need shelves, and I find that stair treads make excellent shelving.
Oh, interesting.
High quality old growth fir stair treads come in all the time, and they'll last a heck of a lot longer than something from IKEA, and they'll look better too.
Oh, okay. So I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Now, you are the outreach director.
I am.
And do all kinds of outreach. But you've been with this company. It's been in Tacoma now for a year.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about the decision to come to Tacoma and the wonderful owners that you work for.
Absolutely. So Second Use has 5 owners, and we were founded in 1994 by somebody that basically was ahead of the curve on preservation. In the 90s, people weren't really thinking
weren't
about
doing that.
what we threw away.
Yeah.
But he was really dedicated to keeping things out of the landfill. And we started as a lot in Woodinville that was very muddy. And we've come a long way from there. Yeah, outdoors.
Wow.
We then moved to a space in South Park in Seattle, and have always wanted to be more part of the South Puget Sound area.
You had a store in Olympia at one
We
time.
did. We briefly had a store in Olympia, and then the Nisqually earthquake kind of compromised that building, and it felt like a good time to kind of regroup. But we're back, and now we're in Tacoma, and it's been just an incredible community for us.
Great match, I would imagine.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there's a lot of growth, a lot of older homes, and it's a lot like Seattle was when we started, and
Well, that's interesting.
it's exciting to kind of, it feels very much like a community, and people taking care of each other and sharing resources, and that's sort of what we're all about.
It's interesting. I know there is a strong value for historic preservation in this community as well. You see it with the University of Washington, Albers Mill, all of the historic buildings that have been preserved. So I'd imagine that the people are really excited to have you here.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, and being so close to downtown, which is a beautiful example of a lot of really well preserved buildings.
Yeah, and there's other breweries that are coming online soon. There's more and more happening in that area.
Yes, exactly. And it's been cool. Seven Seas is right by us, and they're a fantastic example of reuse. I think it seems like brewery culture and salvage kind of go hand in hand.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
There's a little bit of it's rustic but functional, and yeah.
And there's a lot of more warehouses that are in that area that that people are refurbishing. So we'll see more of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you see happening in the future for Second Use?
I think we hope to continue to serve the Tacoma community. Our mission is really to keep waste out of the landfill and within our local area. And so I would love to see us to continue to do more jobs. And as you mentioned, it's basically word of mouth. If you're a homeowner or a contractor and you have a project, give us a call. We'll come take a look. It's totally free, and we can help you save money and help keep those materials out of the landfill.
Or just come visit and have an adventure.
Yes. Also, yes, we love shoppers as well. Come have an adventure. Come see what we have.
And I can call you to come to my place, or I can bring you my stuff, and you might take it. You don't pay for it, but...
We actually do. We have 3 forms of material compensation. The first is cash. There's also store credit, and that just depends on the value of the material. And then we also have a very cool relationship with Habitat for Humanity.
Oh.
And so when they initially started out our relationship goes back to our Seattle store initially, but they didn't have a store of their own, and people often wanted to donate building materials to them. But because of their brilliant modular ability to build homes with volunteers. Reuse
Right.
sometimes takes, reuse is kind of like a puzzle at times. So they use new materials, but we consign materials that people want to donate to them. And then the donor gets a tax receipt and the funds go directly to Habitat. And so
That's fabulous.
yeah, and we accept materials at our back door for them. We do pickups, and we also, our salvage crew can come out and pull out materials that goes right to Habitat.
That's really great, and that's a great community resource there's a lot of support for. And when I think about second use, one of the other similar kinds of stores I think of is the Habitat for Humanity
Right.
store. And it's all, you can go shop there, and you know that when you're purchasing things, it helps them build homes for affordable housing for families.
Exactly.
That's a really cool thing that you did, and it sounds like you actually got them started into that line of business.
Yeah, I think they probably had stores at other places in the country, but it just, we've been able to work kind of as a subcontractor and augment their abilities and being able to say yes to projects. And it's been a really good relationship for both of us. I think cumulatively, since that relationship started in 1997, we've raised over $2.5 million.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. So
Yeah.
every door, every cabinet, every bathtub really adds up.
So I'm really motivated now to come and have an adventure looking through second use. Marianne, thanks for being a guest with us today.
Thanks so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Coming up next, we'll visit the 6th Avenue Business District on District Focus. Connecting people to business is what Tacoma is all about. From an array of shops with unique character, to amazing restaurants, to a host of special events, the 6th Avenue Business District is packed with good times and neighborhood charm. On this edition of District Focus.
Hi, I'm Christina Smyer, and we're in the 6th Avenue Business District. I think we're really up and coming and have always been kind of the root of the city. We're just filled full of vintage stores, some of the first record shops in Tacoma, restaurants that have pioneered craft cocktailing and great dining, as well as fun nightlife. We are completely surrounded by a community. I think that really helps, drive that traffic and help the people that live around us. And the majority of the times our businesses are filled with the people that live in 6th Ave. So I think it's cool to have them be able to live nearby and walk and shop and kind of just stay within the 6th Avenue area. On the Art in the Ave every year in July. So, it's a big festival that we shut down our 6th Avenue, and we have vendors from all over the place, and the local artists come, and then we have the Santa Parade every December, kind of just roping in that younger crowd and that, little family-oriented that's around us. I'm still spending a bulk of my time to really focus on the district because I think it's important to really care about our community. And I not only own a business on this Ave, but I'm a part of and live in the city, and I want it to just thrive and grow and only get better and better as time goes on. We are spending hours a day communicating with the city and other businesses to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and as well as really always improving. We do spend a bulk of our time really caring about not only each individual business or ourselves, but really caring about the community as a whole. To me, coming from Seattle or coming from a bigger city, it's nice to kind of call Tacoma home and be able to invest in the community, which is why I became president. And I think I would love to, be more involved in helping outreach programs, possibly opening up another restaurant, being a part of the government of Tacoma, and making sure that kind of just the businesses are heard.
For more information on experiencing Tacoma business, log on to experiencetacoma.com. When we return, it's tips on good business sense with Andrew Fry on Tacoma Means Business. Small business continues to be the incubator for innovation and growth throughout America. If you're a small business just starting out, Andrew Fry has a few words of advice to help you succeed on this episode of Tacoma Means Business.
One of the fun advantages of having your own business, especially a smaller business, is the idea that you can put together a home office. You have a home office, it saves money on commute time, it gives you a sense of control over your space and so on. But there are some key components you absolutely must think about before you even begin the process. You need to think about equipment, you need to think about lighting, you need to think about privacy, you need to think about storage and organization. There's actually a lot that goes on in creating your own home office. And so what is the first step? Well, in my case, I always suggest the first step is make a list. Make a list to be sure that you're covering all of these bases. And that means that you also have to understand a little bit about yourself. So when you're coming up with this room and you're thinking about how much time you need, how much light you need, and so on, make certain that you have the right equipment for the job that you're doing. Don't hold back on the correct equipment, because that's going to be the determination as to whether or not you're efficient in the work that you do, and that's going to be very important. Another thought you might take into consideration is whether or not you establish office hours for yourself. Now, obviously, there's freedom. There's freedom in a home office. There's freedom in running your own business. And so it could be rather easy to just say, yeah, I'm going to go in there and work when I feel like working. The truth of it is, you'll be better off if you say, and I have dedicated office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 until 4, and know that that is a time that you'll be spending there. Some of the things that people overlook in regards to that is this idea of privacy. Well, I've got this chair, I've got this desk, I'll set it up here. Well, can you really ignore that plasma television? I know I'd have a hard time doing that. So oftentimes, especially if you have a spouse, pets, kids, a roommate, if you can, get a room with a closing door. Now, if you're getting a room with the closing door, it comes back to one of the important things that I talked about, and that is lighting. You know, we forget how important lighting is to us in terms of getting the job done. You may find a nice little nook, a nice little cranny to get into and do your work, but if the lighting's not good, you're going to find that's difficult to keep your energy up. What do you need? Now, if you can get natural lighting, that'd be a great thing to include within your office space list. Yeah? So you've taken care of quite a few things already. You've got the necessary equipment. You have set up privacy so that you're not going to be interrupted. You've established office hours. So if there's something comes up and you need to conduct a meeting, you now know when you're going to be available because it's your habit right now. And you've got enough organization so that if you need storage capabilities, and you might say, well, I don't need storage. I'm a writer. Well, if you're a writer, where are you keeping your reference books? You know, where are you keeping the books that you read? Because writers read. Where are you keeping your office supplies? Where are you keeping your drafts? And where does your file cabinet go? No matter what you're doing in a hobby or in a business, you're going to need some place to store all that material. So keep these things in mind if you're setting up a home office. And if you follow those instructions, you're going to find they have a better chance of enjoying the location that you've determined, as well as being a good business in it.
Thanks, Andrew. For more ways on growing your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at makeittacoma.com. When Business Matters returns, from feathers to classic gizmos, it's a walk through an upscale Tacoma store on Antique Row in the Spotlight. On this episode of In the Spotlight, we visit a store that sells everything from jellies to coffee table legs.
Hi, I'm Summer.
And I'm Dan, and this is Urban Squirrel.
The Urban Squirrel offers a cozy storefront in downtown Tacoma, right at the center of the city's growing antique row. Dan and Summer are the owners, who offer 3 different departments within one store.
So Urban Squirrel is really a curated thrift store. So we're 3 different sections where we get a focus on vintage home accessories. We have a section that we make things, and then we also have a section called Pieces and Parts, where it's really about you making things.
Dan says his customers like the diversity of their inventory, ranging from antique typewriters and film equipment to do-it-yourself projects. He has favorites. 2
of the coolest features I like about our store, the pieces and parts section, it's kind of like your Pinterest supply shop. So, I mean, any of the little things that you need, you find a project where you need a bag of feathers, we probably have that. We have an us section, which is, it's Urban Squirrel us, where it's all stuff that Summer and I make, little things that inspire us, so hopefully it'll inspire other people.
The Us section of Urban Squirrel features the creativity of art made by Summer and Dan.
We really resist the title of artist, just because it's more stuff we started making because, well, we didn't have a lot of money when we first got together. So, but we like the beautiful things in our home. So I'd probably say crafty is a better term to describe us.
Urban Squirrel's merchandise is actually the fruit of Dan and Summer's adventures exploring estate sales. They find those precious items that not only spark the imagination, but save their customers $1 or $2 on some great bargains.
Our customers really enjoy our value. I think we give a really good price point for the items that we serve inside of our store. If we get it for a good deal, we like to pass that good deal along.
Summer says their most important product is their creativity, the ideas and suggestions that help people looking for that special something make their home unique with the ambiance they wish to create.
So one of the things I think our customers love about the Urban Squirrel is our sheets that are kind of to spark ideas. So we have those throughout the store with get the look sheets or here's an idea sheets. And those say, hey, here's a product, here's how it would look inside of your home, or here's what you can do to make it personal, to customize it, to make it exactly what you want in your space.
Small business owners know great staff come with a premium, so very often the owners are the hourly employees.
Just me and Summer. We're all departments, so we handle everything.
Even with their flair for creativity and using good entrepreneurial sense, Urban Squirrel's future is based on growth. Dan wants to expand, have more inventory, and provide a community base.
Urban Squirrel's plan is we really plan on expanding. We want to get into a bigger space, do more of the architectural salvage, expand our ideas. Part of the idea behind Pieces and Parts was we are a green company. We like to keep as much out of the landfill as possible. So a bigger facility means we can process more stuff and really employ more people, be a bigger part of our community.
Many small businesses hatch from an idea. The Urban Squirrel evolved from an earlier business that offered something customers didn't want. But through that experience, Summer and Dan learned what customers do want, so they obliged.
Well, we had a business before this one. It's actually that business that led to this business. We had all of our customers were coming in and kept asking, well, how do you make this? Or where do you find the stuff to make this thing? And we finally listened to them and decided to open the store they kept describing.
Work and play are about the same for these two. Summer and Dan enjoy flea marketing. On vacations, they look for those great bargains, the one-of-a-kinds. Indeed, their adventures keep Urban Squirrel growing.
When we're on vacation, we want to go to estate sales. We love putting together those stories and finding unique pieces for our own home. So now we have an environment where we get to support that hunt for other people, but in a really clean environment, in an organized environment, in an environment that feels more like boutique shopping than sludging through piles of stuff. That's great for some people. We love to do that too, but there's something different about having it in a store environment where it's already been picked through, where it's already displayed in a beautiful way that you could put together.
Small business owners like Dan and Summer can set up shop just about anywhere, but coming from Tacoma, they knew right where to plant the Urban Squirrel.
More people are discovering Tacoma right now. The great things that we all knew about Tacoma growing up, other people are finding.
I think Tacoma is home, that we're both hometown kids. This is where we grew up, and we wanted to be back in our environment. We both went to small businesses when we were kids, and being able to have that connection in our community mattered to both of us.
That's it for Business Matters. Join me next time for more insight into the Tacoma business scene. See you then.